For years, my mother had been insulting and spreading lies about me, my girlfriend and her family, and now she expects us to apologize to her. Don't miss out on the fun. Hit subscribe button and join our community for more stories like this one. Okay, this is going to be a very long one. TLDR. Since I finished college, my mother had been angry because I choose to have my own life instead of going back to my hometown, to live at her house and find a job near to them, just as she had planned it. Because of that, she had been saying shit about my girlfriend and her family, accusing her of being controlling and manipulating me, saying they take off my money and keep me locked, and that's why I don't do what she wants. Even after I confronted her multiple times and had asked her to stop, she kept doing it. She can't accept I want to stay here because I'm happy here. But recently, she started to spread her lies to all the family, and an uncle came to my girlfriend's home to confront her family and accuse them of all that BS and insulting them. I had enough and confronted her for the last time, putting an end to her dramas and demanding her to stop and apologize. She laughed at me, called me names, acted like she was the victim and demanded me and my girlfriend to apologize to her. I went no contact with her after that. Just to let you know a little about my mother, she always told me and my brother that love is not unconditional, that it must be earned. When we were kids, she barely let us hug or kiss her, saying that disgusted her, and that is a false and hypocrite way to show love, that the correct way to show we loved her was through respect and obedience. She would smash the door and windows of our room on a Saturday/Sunday at 7 am, upset at us because she expected us being already awake and cleaning the house. About school and grades, she always told us that excellence is the bare minimum you owe me. Getting a 10 equals and you want a reward. That's your obligation. You don't deserve a reward for giving the bare minimum. Getting a 9 equals Y is not a 10. Getting an 8 equals mediocre. Getting a 7 or below equals punishment. She always would tell us to stop acting like a child. You're almost an adult and must behave like one. Instead of being running and playing and embarrassing me, she started to say us this since I was 7. And my favorite, whenever me or my brother were upset with her, or her rules, or her punishments, because she loved to punish both of us at the same time, even if one of us didn't do anything and was totally innocent. She didn't care. She gladly would say us, you don't like it. Well, the door is way big and wide open, you can go. Go away and live on the streets. But you can't take anything, not even your clothes, because all is mine. Your clothes, your toys, your bed, I bought everything. You have nothing. You are free to go, but in the exact same way you came to this world. With nothing I had for the first time she told me that. I could go on and on for hours, but I'm sure now you can have an idea of what I have been dealing with. So, lots of years after childhood, I was finishing college. I moved from my hometown to study and have better opportunities. My mother already had plans for me. She wanted me to move back at home, find a job with help of her friends, and start a business at her house. Me, on the other side, didn't want it to do that. I wanted to stay here, find a job and be with my girlfriend. I was happy here and had a very good chance to build my own life here. My mom didn't like it at all, and for weeks she would said multiple times how I was wasting years and opportunities for not doing what she said. 1 year after I decided to stay, she convinced my dad to buy another house. When they got it, she started to say me and everyone who would listen to her that she bought it to me, so I could live there and work from there. Since then she kept repeating me and everyone how I rejected it, and again I waste every opportunity she gave me. After she realized I was doing good here, she changed her way and started to say that my girlfriend was manipulating me, because if I was working, then I should be able to visit them at least 15 days on every moment. She said I'm sure everyone with a job knows that is a BS. No one can take off half a month every time she wants. Also, it's a 14 hours trip. Whenever I told her that was not possible, she would start a tantrum about how my girlfriend is controlling and isolating me, and when I tried to say that wasn't true, she would start saying me to prove it by telling her how much I earned. She wanted to know exactly how much money I earned, and on multiple times even suggested to give it to her, that she would save it and manage it for me. Whenever I told her no to that, she would always say, I'm not asking because I'm going to ask you for money. I just know best and want to help you. I'm doing you a favor. Don't you trust me? Every time I said no, she would start playing victim and blame me and my girlfriend for wasting all the opportunities she gave me. I endured this for years, and with time, I started to get into low contact with her, just the necessary to don't start another drama, because I don't talk to her. Meanwhile, she began to include my girlfriend's mom into her BS, saying that she exploits me and take away my money, all while my girlfriend manipulates me and have me locked. Every time I confronted her and asked her to stop, she would act offended and start to say she is brutally honest, and she always says the truth and no one can tell her what can she say or not, and she would always say her thoughts in the exact way she think. This kept going until we hit a breaking point. At the beginning of last December, I was after a new job, a very good opportunity that, unfortunately, I didn't get. That putted me and my girlfriend in a rough spot, and again, my mother offered me to come back home, with the promise that everything would be solved the moment I got back, that I could find a good job faster and easier there, and that I could live in her house. I felt tempted to accept her offer, even talked with my GF about it, but at the end, I decided to stay. Moving back to my hometown would not solve anything, that only would carry more troubles. Fortunately, I was able to find a job a couple weeks after, not exactly like the one I was looking for before, but it was good and with chances of growing. My mother didn't took it well at all. She was mad at me when I called her to tell her the good news. She wasn't happy at all and started to scold me, saying how I always waste all the opportunities and chances she give me, how I disappoint her, that my new job would exploit me, that it would put on test my character and I would fail, because I'm weak and everyone there would step over me. Beautiful words from a mother to her son, isn't it? I started working at the second half of December and it was good. Then my mother called, demanding me to come to her home for Christmas, and getting mad when I told her I couldn't, because I had to work. She started a tantrum about how I don't love them, because I don't go to visit them since a long time, and all because I'm selfish, a doormat, and my girlfriend and her family manipulates me, control me and don't let me visit them. All of that. Stupid and false accusations that multiple times I told her to stop, and when I told her again that I didn't went to her house, because it was a 14 hours bus trip, during COVID, and because my asthma, I couldn't take that risk, she started telling me I was being ridiculous, an idiot and exaggerating. That COVID wasn't that important, that the president, yes, she loves and believes anything the fucking Vieto says, never even used mask and always said COVID was under control, blah blah blah. Few days after, she and my dad traveled here for New Year's Eve. As soon as they arrived, they demanded me to visit them on my uncle's house, but on her words, not a 5 minutes visit as you always do. Another lie. When they come, I visit them for 2-3 hours. I want you to stay here all day, from breakfast to dinner. I gently tried to explain her it wasn't possible, I had to work. She didn't like it. The most I could do was skip my lunchtime to visit them. Time she used to scold me, again, about everything. But things went worse on December 31. My uncle and they organized a religious ceremony that morning, and my mother ordered me to go. When I told her it wasn't possible because my job she just couldn't understand, she got mad, and after that she demanded me to come to the dinner, spent all the night there and stay there until the morning. I had enough and said no. I couldn't and didn't want it to do that. I went to work that day, come back to my place and stayed with my girlfriend, having an amazing night with her and her family. Next day I stayed at home, as we slept too late last night. I woke up around 12 p.m. January 2, I went to my uncle's home to visit my parents, and hell broke loose. Mom started with the usual speech, about me being horrible, a disappointment, that I don't love them. Then she started with how she kept giving chances to do things on the right way but I just don't obey her. That she could not understand why I choose to don't do what she says. Then she started attacking my girlfriend and her family, saying it's all their fault, that they exploit me, take my money, have me trapped and controlled, and it's because her manipulation that I didn't go back to her, to live in the house she bought and find a job near them. I stopped her. I was upset in that point, and told her for 1,000 times, she was wrong and she can't say those things about her. She said, well, the truth hurts, isn't it? If you're uncomfortable with what I'm saying. I told her to stop, but she kept on, saying that not showing on the day she ordered was a sign to disrespect from me, and not forcing me to come was your girlfriend way to show me she doesn't respect me. I told her to stop, that I had enough and won't allow her to keep saying all this crap about her. She told me you are no one to forbid me anything, and I'm going to say everything I want, because I'm right, I'm always right and always going to say the things as the way they are. I had enough and left her with her tantrum. My dad only said that he was disappointed and disgusted at me, that I showed him how I don't feel love of respect to them, that I just don't want to obey, so he won't care about me anymore. I avoided them for the rest of the time they stayed, until they went back their home. Things were tense, but I believed everything was over. But no, while I was working, my uncle came to my girlfriend's house. He went with the intention of confronting them and throwing them the truth to their faces. He accused my girlfriend and her mother about everything my mother told him. That they controlled me, manipulated me, exploit me, robs me, that I was trapped and they were the reason I didn't take all the opportunities my mother gave me. When I knew, I was beyond furious. My girlfriend and her family never had done anything to her, all the contrary. They always had cared about my parents, asking when they would come to visit them, giving them presents, never had a bad word for them, always asking about how they are. And now, my mother had been spreading her bullshit to all the family, bringing her lies and drama to their home. I had enough. I called her. Now it was my turn. I let go every single thing I had to say. I was putting an end to all her shit. Multiple times she tried to shut me up, telling me things like, "I'm your mother, you can't talk to me that way. Remember, who are you talking to? You have no right to talk to me that way." Even yelling at the phone just to don't let me talk. But I didn't let her have it. "And what do you want?" "That I apologize," she said. "Yes," I yelled her. Just to begin with, she started laughing at the phone, but not laughing like I said something funny. A fake laugh with the only intention upset me, mocking me, like if she was saying me I was an idiot for asking that. The kind of laugh someone would use to humiliate. She told me that it was all my and my girlfriend's fault. That because of her and her manipulation, I didn't move back as she ordered me, didn't live where she ordered me, worked where she want me and do what she said to me. That she now is going to wait for me, her, and her family to apologize to her and ask for my mom's forgiveness. I told her she was the victim, and she was being ridiculous. She got mad about that and acted insulted. I told her that I was done. I'm tired of her. She insulted me, my girlfriend and her family for the last time, and I want her to take back everything she had said and apologize. She said that she never would do that and I'm an idiot for believing she would even think about that, so I told her I won't talk to them again until she stops her shit and apologize. I ended the call. After that, my dad sent me a text, saying how disappointed he was, and that he was done with me. That I showed them that I don't love them, and I'm not loyal to my family, so he was done. It's been almost 3 months after I cut contact with them. All the fights, the drama, are gone. The tantrums, the scolds, the drama are over. I have been doing great at my job, with my girlfriend, everything. My brother had called me a couple times. He understands me, but he keeps saying that is not a big deal. I know how our mother is. She says shit about his couple too, and is normal, and he asked me to fix things with her and come here for a week, at least, and do what she says, so everything can be normal again, but I told him I'm not going to do that. Our mother is still angry as hell, and because my brother is near her, she now focus all the drama, scolds and fights to him, and he is desperate to take her off from him. So, that's it. For years, she has been telling shit about me and my girlfriend, and now, after spreading her lies to the family, she expects us to apologize to her. Meanwhile, she is taking off her frustration into my brother and his girlfriend. Comments. Hey, next time she rants at you for not loving her, remind her of her own words. Love isn't unconditional, it's earned. But in all honesty, she's toxic and manipulative, and no contact seems to be the only option. You're completely right about your mom being crazy. You should tell your brother to get her out of his life ASAP. The whole point of a parent is to unconditionally love your children, but your mom says you have to earn it. That's absurd. I don't know the entirety of your situation, but I really don't think you should ever forgive her for treating her children like people who work for her. They scold you for not showing respect to them, but they don't show it to you. Respect goes both ways. If people can't do that, then what's the point of anything? Sorry if that sounds odd, but anyway, you've done the right thing. Also ignore what your brother says about trying to fix it. Stuff like this can't be forgiven. Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry you have to put up with all this. She sounds like the worst person ever. I would try and get a restraining order or something if I was able to. I don't know how those work. But I'm glad you're going no contact with her. And I think your brother should probably do that too. You grew a spine on your own and stood up to your shitty parents. Now your brother can do the same, if it's not a big deal. Your mom, in particular, sounds like a textbook narcissist. You're doing better and your family's just upset because they're now the focus of your mother's ridiculous demands and behavior instead of you. I would just tell bro that he can do what you did and just cut off mommy dearest instead of putting up with that kind of toxic behavior. Let mom explain to everyone why 2 of her kids refuses to speak to her anymore. Next time her or dad accuse you of not loving them, throw it back in their faces. You know what? You're right, actually. I don't love or respect you. My love is also conditional and needs to be earned, and you and Dad have never done a thing to earn it from me. Since simply being your child isn't a good enough reason for you to love me, you simply being my parents isn't a good enough reason for me to love you either. Then when she starts screaming about all I've done for you, throw that back, too, with providing for your children is the bare minimum parents are supposed to do. You want an award for doing the bare minimum. It'll probably give her a stroke, but at least it might finally shut her up. So everything can be normal again. TBH, I don't think it was ever normal from what you described. Good on you for standing up for not only your GF and her family but for yourself as well. Maybe one day she will realize how she treats you and change. Keep your brother close and always keep in contact with him because he will probably go through the same thing. Don't ever feel bad for wanting to live your own life. Subscribe and hit the bell button for the best Reddit stories available.